p.m. Thank you. And this meeting of the Selma City Council is hereby called to order. Welcome to the Selma City Council. At this time, we're going to ask Councilman Jemison to please offer us a word of invocation for tonight.
Thank you, God, for allowing us to wake up this morning. Bless it for y'all. Thank you, God, for Mary's family. Thank you for the president and the city council, all our citizens of Selma, Dallas County, Almighty God. Continue to bless us to get stronger, continue to work together to build a strong community, a strong Selma for our people. In your name, God, we pray.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, we're going to ask students from School Discovery, the president of the FBLA, Mackenzie Millhouse, and Vice President Sierra Perkins to please come forward and lead us in our pledge of allegiance. Please come forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll introduce them a little bit more in just 2 minutes. All righty, the first item on our agenda now is the roll call, and we'll have the roll call by Ms. Cynthia.
President Young.
Present.
Councilman Harper.
Present.
Councilwoman Christie Thompson.
Present.
Councilman Carmichael.
Present.
Councilwoman James.
Present.
Councilman Randolph. Councilman Jemison.
Here.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas.
Present.
Councilman Johnson.
Here. Thank you so much for your responses and thank you for your attendance, council. The character of the month is inspired. When you inspire people, they act in accordance with their higher instincts, sensibility, and rationale. Whereas inspiration has a lifelong effect. let's remember our character trait of the month, which is inspired. Let's remember that. Now, council, you have before you the approval of the agenda. I'd like to add one item. Following the approval of the agenda, we would like to introduce our students tonight, that they do have to leave, but we will have received an introduction of our students and their advisors here following the approval of the agenda. With that addition to our agenda, is there a motion to approve our agenda for the evening? All right, is there a second? Second. All right, please allow the minister to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Johnson and properly seconded by Councilman Jemison to approve our agenda with the proper addition as stated by the chair. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harville,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas. Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lisa Jones. Councilman Randolph. Councilman Jemison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas. Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Council. Now, this evening, we are very pleased to be joined by students from the School of Discovery, 6th grade students. And they are here representing the FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, middle level. Let's greet them with a round of applause. So everybody can see. All right, very good. Very good looking group. Now, we were joined earlier with the pledge by their president, President Kinsey Millhouse, and also their vice president, Ms. Sierra Perkins. We thank you all for conducting our pledge for the evening. In addition to the students with the FBLA, we have their advisors here. We have Ms. Crystal Boyd. Let's give her. And also Ms. Jessica Spivey. Let's give her a round. And all of us know that our student success depends on not only their schools, their teachers, but also their parents. So we're very grateful that we have parents here this evening with us. We ask all parents of FBLA students to please stand. All the parents. Let's give them a round. We would like to thank you all for bringing FBLA to the Selma City Council chambers to see city government in action. We know that there was some type of discrepancy as far as the time goes, but we hope that in the very near future, once we get the schedules together, that you all will be able to return to us and be able to attend an entire meeting. We do know that you have to leave, but we are very grateful that you thought about learning more about city government. Civic engagement is the key to this country's success. And we appreciate what our teachers are doing, what our parents are doing, and we wish all of these students nothing but the best. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. All right.
We've got about 20 minutes.
It's great, great. Well, we hope to get a lot done in this 20 minutes. All right, thank you so much. Now, council, turn your attention, please, to our consent agenda for the evening, as we have 7 items on our consent agenda for Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. Item number 1, to approve a purchase order for the Public Works Department in the amount of $5,633.79, with funding dispersed from account number 1.6200-51037 for Warner Tractor for repairs to 544 Logan. Item number 2, to approve the ALM voting delegate authorization form with Mayor Perkins, official voting delegate, Council President Warren Young, first alternate voting delegate, and Councilman Clay Carmichael, second alternate voting delegate. Item number 3, to approve an invoice payment for annex statement in the amount of $5,000. Item number 4, to approve invoice to Hill Carter Law Firm for services rendered in the amount of $6,534. Item number 5, to approve ordinance number 0103/21/22, an ordinance to transfer unused municipal real estate to T'Challa West. Item number 6, to approve a contract for services with AU Auburn GEBI to revise the personnel policy and procedure manual for fiscal year 2022. And item number 7, to approve an application for permit for commercial film, video, and audio production for the name organization GI Inc. Council, those are the 7 items that are presented for consent approval tonight. Is there any discussion about any of the said items? Hearing no discussion, at this time, is there a motion to approve the 7 consent items as stated by the chair for Tuesday, March 8, 2022? Is there a second?
Second.
Please allow the minister to reflect that it was moved by Councilwoman Lisa James and properly seconded by Councilman Clay Carmichael to approve the 7 items up for consent approval for Tuesday, March 8, 2022. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harville,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jemison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you, council, for your vote. Thank you for approval of those 7 items. Our next item on the agenda is the approval of council meeting minutes. But due to the absence of our clerk, I request that we table the approval of our minutes to our next meeting. Is there any objection in tabling that to the next meeting when our clerk is available to provide those minutes? Thank you so much, council. We will move on now to our announcements. And I'll start. I have a few announcements. The first announcement is today is a very special day, not just in Selma, Alabama, but it's a special day for the entire world. Today is International Women's Day. So everybody, let's give it up. All know we have some outstanding women all over this world. And I must say, in Selma, Alabama, we have the most outstanding women. And so we are grateful for all of the things that our women are doing, have done, and will continue to do. So let's give it up for all of the women in Selma, Alabama. You see any woman, tell her Happy International Women's Day. Thank you all for what you do. All right, our next announcement is let's please continue to keep the Perkins family in prayer. As we stated at our work session on Thursday, we do know of the transition of Deacon James Perkins Sr., the father of our mayor. So please keep the entire family lifted. From my understanding, the services are this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Councilwoman James. At Serenity. So it's going to be a graveside service. So please, everybody, this is something that all of our families have to face. We've all been there, and if you haven't been there, you're going to be there. So we know that everyone is experiencing a tough time. So let's keep the Perkins family lifted, and let's keep one another lifted during these times. We are all brothers and sisters. Let's love one another and praise. Now, our next announcement is this past weekend, we had a small event that took place in Selma. Our annual Bridge Crossing Jubilee. And there is no way that this body should convene without offering a huge thank you to the city employees of Selma, Alabama. the city of Selma employees from public safety to public works to IT, planning development, every department was on point. And they got a lot of things done this weekend. We had a lot of visitors in Selma, Alabama this weekend. And we had a successful weekend. And that weekend was successful because of the hard work of our city employees. So from the bottom of our hearts, I know I cannot speak for everyone, but I believe I know this council. And I know this council is appreciative of the hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, when many of us had gone home on Sunday, our city employees were still working. They're working on Monday, they're working today, and they are still working. So we are proud of our city employees, and we are grateful for our city employees. And they deserve not one, but another round of applause. When you see a city employee, tell them thank you. Thank you for your service. Now, are there any other announcements at this time that need to be made by any council members? First hand I see up, Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Yes, good afternoon. I just want to say this to the body of the council and also to the citizen of Selma. You know, we have a public safety committee, and I told them that I had been working on National Association of Town Watch. It is where you have a night out in your community. And I signed the city of Selma up to be a part of this national night out. And I wanted to tell the chief, our chief Booker, that like for us to have this in our public safety committee. We're looking forward to this because it's the first time for the city of Selma. And I became joining the membership National Night Out for the city of Selma to be a part of public safety. And they will be having their 39th annual National Night Out, where leaders of communities come together. And I wanted our city to be a part of this, and they do it in weeks of that a month. And I wanted to share with the council. They can look at it, and then I will turn this over to the chief.
Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. We appreciate it. All right, are there any other announcements that need to be made this time? Any other announcements? All right, thank you, council. Let's keep all of our announcements and let us act accordingly. All right, the next items on our agenda are our citizens' concerns. And I see Mr. West on here. Mr. West, I believe we voted on an item and we approved it on the consent agenda. But if you would still like to speak to us, you may, but we have approved your item.
I just want to say thank you.
Hey, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. All right, so let's take care of it. We're glad to see you and we wish you much success.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. All right, and then the next citizen on our agenda for the evening is no stranger, and that's Mr. LaMarcus Snow. Yeah, I see it. And he's here to discuss the Eighth Amendment rights. And we're just gonna remind our good friend, 5 minutes, and we'll proceed. Welcome to the Selma City Council again, Mr. LaMarcus Snow, sir.
Council, Council, Mayor, everybody, I'm here today to talk about something that's been going on over 2 administrations now. The Milton administration, and it carried over to the Perkins administration. My right, my 8th Amendment, I've been speaking out with my First Amendment right, and it has turned into a violation of my 8th Amendment right. I would like to read some stuff to the council and use my time reading it. like I said, it's been going on, over two administrations now. And as to, I'm a citizen of the United States of America. And I reserve my First Amendment right. And I don't think my Eighth Amendment right should be continuously taken. I've been out of school a lot of years, so I'm gonna try to read this as best as I can. I prepared this, and nobody make me prepared. I prepared at my own will, and this stuff that happened to me, it didn't happen to none of y'all, but I'm still gonna speak on it. My evidence, if the council members want to, the minutes will prove that on numerous occasions, the vindictive and discriminatory actions by the city attorney, Madison. Past and present members of the city council have witnessed or heard these actions on several occasions. City Attorney Madison has failed on several occasions to perform his duties as directed by the Selma City Council. 8, after doing my first contract with the city of Selma and getting paid for it, this was after I get paid. My business was shut down on refusal to prepare another contract because I didn't have the correct license showing landscape, in which I did have, because I've been running snow cleaning service for over 12 years now. Okay, I did go get that license. Once I got that license downstairs, yet again, Madison said this license was also wrong, and I needed to go get a contractor's license. This caused my business money. I did not receive a refund from the license department, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I got 3 licenses in all before it was deemed that I had the right license. You got council members up there that can speak to this, that know about this. I'm not asking them to speak, but this is not nothing new. It was just a stalling tactic under the Milton administration. B, under the Milton administration, after 65 employees were laid off, I started a movement called Project Clean Up Selma. And in the midst of it, council members and council president Corey Brewer hired me to do projects in the city that required immediate attention. It was 4 or 5 different contracts, if I'm not mistaken. At his discretion, Major Madison took all these individuals' contracts and combined them into one contract, making it against the law, being the law. Work was performed and heavy machinery was used. The Selma City Council had to hire an outside attorney to come in and straighten out the mess that was created by Major Madison. This was a violation of my rights and was discriminatory against my business. Due to the city's attorney's irresponsibility, my company was not paid for almost 100 days for work that we had completed. He is the city attorney. He should know, if he had his license since the 80s, that you can't take 4 or 5 different contracts and combine them all in one. That violated my rights. I had workers and stuff to pay, and it just stalled me out. C, a contract totaling $1,000 was executed in Ward 5 by Councilman Samuel Randolph. After I finished the contract work, I didn't get paid for the service. Councilman Randolph placed his concern on the agenda. In open council meeting, in which minutes were stated, the contract disappeared. The city attorney draws up all contracts. Councilman Randolph asked Attorney Madison, the city clerk, and the finance director where the contract was, and they all said they didn't know, or they didn't have it. This is an example of my rights being violated again, and a complete waste of the city council time, because they already voted, they had to vote all over in and try to locate the contracts. D, Ward 3 Councilman Clay Carmichael followed up a stated contract at the council meeting, and it took the city attorney 60 days to attend to this contract being typed up. Once the contract was finally drawn up, it was requested by Councilman Clay Carmichael to get a Attorney General's opinion, which eventually exhausted more time. After a scheming way, Councilman Clay Carmichael drew up another contract. But after seeing the new contract on the agenda, Attorney Madison suddenly magically appears with the old contract, saying it was ready. This was another discriminatory act to hold up progress in Paul's work performance. On my last contract, after completion of Councilman Clay Carmichael's requested the city administrator to send an email of completion of work to the mayor, the city attorney, the public works director, all around February 6, 2022. This gave Attorney Madison 9 days to go through the necessary steps for payment. When February 15 arrived, the finance department reported that no paperwork has been sent. So again, payroll goes out, but on March the 1st, Attorney Madison had not started the process. And I had to address the council again to get paid on time.
Mr. Snow, I understand, and I see you got some more left on this document, but I gave you a little bit more than 5 minutes. Actually, I gave you close to 7 minutes. But the way we're going to handle this, this is not a court of law. This is city council. So we're not having a judicial proceeding. Hold on a second, Mr. Snow. We don't have a judicial proceeding here. The rules provide for 5 minutes for a citizen to make their concern. If you exceed it 5 minutes, you have to vote the name of someone and their responsibility towards the city. And so the way we will handle this is we will allow the same 5 minutes if Attorney Madison would like to respond at this time. After that 5 minutes, we're not going to get into a back and forth on this. We will allow any council members that want to respond. They will have a brief comment. After that, we'll proceed on to the next item. Our citizen requests are only 5 minutes, and we want to follow that as best as possible. So now at this time, Attorney Madison, would you like to respond? You will be given the courtesy of between 5 and 7 minutes, the same courtesy that was given to Mr. Snow. Then we're going to ask for any council members, and then we're going to proceed on with our next item. Go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
Mr. President, council members, I saw Mr. Snow.
I think we have a problem here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I saw Mr. Snow's name on the agenda for an 8th Amendment item. I would like to respond to an 8th Amendment topic on the agenda with
Proving unusual punishment. That's my 8th Amendment right.
I thought it was my turn to speak.
It is. Go ahead, proceed, please.
Thank you. I'm not going to respond in full to his comments. I was taking notes because I wanted to make sure I heard what I heard. I will respond at the appropriate time, but I'm not going to respond tonight. I feel ambushed here in this meeting. I came prepared to make a report to the council that had nothing to do with the 8th Amendment on Mr. LaMarcus Snow. Any of these items and all of these items may need addressing. And as far as I'm concerned, they definitely will be addressed. I'm not going to address them here in this forum tonight. I didn't come prepared to do that.
Please allow the record to reflect that Attorney Madison was provided with an opportunity to respond, as we do not want to violate anyone or deprive anyone of their rights. He was provided with an opportunity to speak. Now, council, are there any comments that any council members would like to make at this time? Please remember the time is sensitive, and we do not have all night to address. Any council members? Councilwoman Janice.
The only thing I would like to say is, so it won't get out of hand and get it further, we need to be some type of meeting, so they can come into a mutual agreement what's going on. We don't want any citizen to be mistreated nor major matters. So I think at this time now, it needs to be a joint or some kind of meeting to see what's going on and see why his contract's not being carried out thoroughly. So I think it's going on too long, and we need to go ahead on and move forward and get some kind of conversation going to correct this situation.
All right. Any other council members that would like to speak? And the reason I'm not coming back to Mr. Snow is anytime you discuss anyone's rights related to their employment. You bring up constitutional rights, which if a lawsuit ever came up, they have the right to respond and also have the right to report whatever's going on in a public meeting. So I remind everyone involved here tonight to be very cautious when you're dealing with these types of situations, as the Declaration of Rights are some of the largest number of cases that are currently pending within our federal and state courts. So that's why we're not going to walk the rails on this. And Mr. Snow, we gave you your time. We also provided the attorney with the time. We appreciate you coming to us. And I believe it's best that we proceed with the rest of our meeting. Thank you, Mr. Snow.
I got some more documents.
Okay, and we will review those, and council, those documents that have been provided by Mr. Snow, yes, would you please review those accordingly. Thank you so much. All right. Our next item on our agenda for the evening is now our mayor's report. And so at this time, do we have anyone here that is able to provide our mayor's report for the evening? All right, we do know, thank you. We do know that some of the items were taken care of on the consent agenda for the evening. I'll pull it up. You go, Councilman. All right, so the first item, which was the repair of the 544 loader, that was taken care of under the consent agenda. And so now we're on item number 2, which is the transition of property tax collector by Mr. Aaron Roper. And so, Mr. Roper, would you like to present anything related to that at this time?
No, sir, it's under the report, the attorney's report.
It's gonna be under the attorney's report. Thank you so much. All right. And then we also took up under the consent agenda the voting delegate selection for the annual meeting. That was approved on the consent agenda. The next item was the $5,000 duplicate on department spending. Anyone want to speak on that? All right, the next item was the 10% restriction on intra-departmental funds transfer. Anyone would like to speak on that? All right, the next item was the citywide camera solution. Remember, we're waiting now to hear back from Ben Goldman of the law firm and there to see if Alabama Power approved the waiver. So we're waiting to hear back from them. So once we hear back from them, we'll give you the next steps and process of securing the lawyers to handle this issue for us. Yes, ma'am. Under the law, we were required to ask them if they could grant a waiver since they do business with that law firm as well. So they have to, by law, if you have a client, you have to go to that client to receive a waiver to act on another competing business.
Are we, my question is, did we do that? Did we do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No. They were the only company involved because they were a client of the lawyers that were asking for. And so that's why we took the vote to do our waiver. We waived, and then Alabama Power as a client of Annandale, they have to waive. Then once they waive, then we can enter into actual contract with the law firm. So we have all proper procedures under the law. Thank you. All right, next, any emergency and unanticipated issues that need to be addressed? All right, hearing none. Madam Treasurer, do you have anything you would like to report to the council at this time?
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, this is the month-end February 2020 financial report. Our total payables for month-end was $1,878,670. Our collections and sales tax for the month of February was $826,383, which was a decrease of $77,527 from last year. Overall for the year was $10,127.40 decrease. Our license tax for February was $28,999. It was an increase of $1,445 for the same time last year.
But overall for the fiscal year, it's a 21,438 increase. Tobacco tax, I'm sorry, you guys should have copies of those in your. Did you see? Okay, you should have copies of those. Let's see, tobacco tax, I just read tobacco tax. Okay, lodging tax, the occupancy tax, the collections for the year was 10,797, decrease of 740 at the same time as last year. Overall, to 5,512 increase. Sales tax half cents was 103,297 for the month. There was a decrease of 14,988. Same time last year, a decrease of 21,015 for the year. The simplified sales use tax, that's the tax we get from Amazon, eBay, the online sellers. That tax was an increase, the collections, was 115,446, a decrease of 167,000 for the same time last year. It was an overall increase for the fiscal year of 14,654. The municipal street tax, we collected 14,229 for the month. There was a decrease of 1,210 for the same time last year. Overall decrease for the fiscal year of 3,501. The rebuild Alabama tax collected 12,147 for the month. There was a increase of 2,641, same time last year. Overall for the fiscal year was 14,505. Our allocation to the Selma City School Board for this month was 95,601. Total cash in the bank is 16,837,777. Of that, 11,433,473 is restricted. We have unrestricted of 5,433,303.79. That is my report.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Councilwoman Thomas.
Yes, I would like to address this to the body of council and to our treasurer. She will come on. Previous, we did a resolution for our OLEs to be split. We first did we said we were going to use the money for OLEs to do a project downtown. But then with our American Rescue Fund, we found out that we could do the project there. But then we divided, requested that a resolution that we divide our orders. 10 people would get, I think it was like 17 point something. We never got our orders in our account. And the reason why I know why I keep over my account, I was getting ready to do something in my order. And I asked to go for my account to see what I had. And I did not have my funds in there. And I met with Ms. Terry, and Ms. Terry told me that we did not have a budget at that time that for all these to be put in our account, which we did have a budget was done on October the 28th, I think. But then here we are, going to be, I think April, we will be receiving our other orders. So my thing is this here, I would like to, the sheriff will have to amend the budget in order for us to receive our ordinance money, because he said we didn't have a budget. So my recommendation is this, Mr. President, that money should have been in our account because we took a vote and we did a resolution and it's not there, and we've got to receive our next order. And I would like for us to get this straight, because we voted on this and the resolution was made up by our attorney, where we agreed to file all these to be in our account. And here is, I think it was a couple of months. I can't think of exactly the month, but when it comes to, we're trying to do something in our ward and our money's not in here. I mean, we need to vote tonight to amend that 17,000 that was supposed to be put in our account from our order to be put in our account.
Okay, well, and I'm going to get to Councilman Carmichael. Let's first of all make sure that we are, someone reminded me today, We want to make sure we don't engage in miseducation. We want to make sure we tell the facts of what's going on. We do have a budget. We approved a budget. This council voted on a budget after extensive voting hearings. What treasurer speaks of is we have to make some amendments to the budget to cover some of the shortfalls, some of the issues that are in the budget, that are so. So what I asked her to do, rather than bring something forward tonight that we have not discussed at all, I've asked the treasurer to come to a work session, our next work session, and bring those concerns with the budget that she sees need to be fixed. But before she does that, to get with our chair of the finance committee. So that way, the treasurer and finance are all on the same page. So that they can present something to the council, solutions for whatever these budget amendments. I know you're speaking of it in terms of the oil lease, but there were some other issues from my conversation with the treasurer that we identified that we need to repair in the budget as well. Some of the budget issues will get taken care of once we approve the American Rescue Plan funds and make them unrestricted. So some of those issues in the budget will get taken care of through our adoption of that, because we'll then have the funds there to take care of some of those proposed things that were in the budget that we approved. But I understand that there may be some other issues. So rather than to scatter and to cause confusion and be all over the place, it is best that we allow the finance chair and the treasurer, and I will participate in the discussion as well, so that we can all come together at our work session and present something to the council that the council can approve. That's the recommendation coming after talking and speaking to the treasurer today. I saw your hand up, Councilwoman Thomas, but before we go to you, we wanted to acknowledge Councilman Carmichael. He has his hand up. Oh, you had not completed. Oh, continue.
I had not finished.
I thought you had completed your
I
statement.
had not completed my statement.
Yes, ma'am.
And also that my, I don't know, I go by the book. I go about according to the law, legislature put in place, according to the rules and regulations that we are supposed to be guideline by. When it comes to a situation in my district that I have waited a whole year, and I'm thinking that the funds are in, and the citizens of my ward have been mislikely of something being taken care of. And when it comes to emergency where vehicle falling in hole, mail truck falling in a hole, and when other things that I'm trying to get done in my district, and where we voted, and the Constitution, where you got the resolution that puts in that place, and when the legislature and the representatives in that ward be ready to do something, but if I have to put my people back on hold again, and say that wait till the next work session so I can decide if I would be able to move forward and take care of your matter. But that's my point, Mr. President. I understand what you're saying, but we have a guideline that requires by the legislature when we do it, when we say we pass a budget and things that are put in place that we vote. I don't believe in what I'm not against what you said, but when it comes to serving the citizens in the things that we need to take care of, I expect to be where I can go and get it taken care of, not keep putting it back on hold. That's all, that's what I'm saying.
Have you completed your statement?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I too follow the book, and I know that we do have rules in place in this council. And whenever you're taking votes on those things that require expenditures or anything with finances, those things are to be waited and held over until the next meeting. So that's what I was coming for. I also was following our procedures and those rules that have been adopted by this council. And that's why I placed it and asked that we bring it up during the work session. Because this was the first that I heard of this tonight, when you brought that up, Councilwoman Thomas. So I wanted time to study this, just as I'm sure every other council member would like an opportunity to review this as well. That's why those rules are in place, so that you don't make a case decision.
Can I make a recommendation? Could you have our clerk to bring our resolution that we voted on, where we voted on, bid our funds, should we go to our auditors to see where is this money at that we don't have in our account?
Well, our clerk is absent, I believe Ms. Cindy can, get that to the clerk's office and provide that to us in due course. We can't make that request to the clerk's office. And I thank you for your patience, Councilwoman Thomas, as I know that you are representing your constituents and you are passionate as you should be, and I hope to get some type of resolution on this. This is not coming from a place of not understanding, it's coming from a place of trying to maintain some order and make sure we do things properly. So I do understand where you're coming from. Councilman Carlisle.
That, the Alabama Trust Fund account 108, I believe, is not in the,
It was
is
not,
that,
it was
is that
not,
because it was not in the budget?
it was not included in the budget. It should be included in the budget, because every bit of money that we receive, federal or state, must be budgeted. Show revenue, show expenditures. When I received the information from BMSS, that fund was not included in that information. Your monies are here, it is on site, but you don't have a budget for the allocation of those funds.
And that's why it's not in your action.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the need for the amendment, because we need to amend it to reflect the revenue. Right now, it's not being reflected, so.
And the allocation, so we know where, when the auditors come in, they will know exactly where to go, what invoices to pull, what to look at. I'm just trying to make sure all T's are crossed, all I's are dotted. That's all.
And thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
And, also, I noticed, and, if you can follow up on this, I know you may not have an answer for it tonight. It looks like that contract that we did for the, cleaning the curb and gutters, the snow cleaning service, the $7,000 was taken out of general fund discretionary account. And we had voted for that to come out of the old lease. Trust fund.
What, when was that?
Snow cleaning service.
You're supposed to come out of what account?
The fund 108 was, full lease discretionary, trust fund.
Okay. We can make, as soon as we get the budget in place, we can make a journal entry.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Claire, we have a budget, we got a minute. Go ahead, Councilwoman Thomas,
I
speak.
think even another one cleared up too in my discretion. There was an amount of 3,000 and Ms. Evans, did you have that amount that was taken out of my discretionary?
We have paperwork, can we wait on this one too? Because we did do some research today, but it's also saying that this come out unappropriated. We just need an account. Because there's.
Oh, at the same time, we take up that other one, we'll take up that one.
Yeah, because
So, objection.
I can't move nothing, I can't do anything that I need to serve people with my account. I'm not correct.
Well, we're going to try to prepare this so that you can do something. So thank you for your patience. Good, Councilman Carlisle.
And just so we're clear, if there is, something that's supposed to be taken, from, I guess, unencumbered general fund, like something that's not in the budget. And what would that be the general fund account? How's that?
I'm not following your question because.
So I think what it's been referred to as unappropriated,
Unappropriate.
unappropriate, is unappropriated.
Unappropriated.
I just want to be clear, sure we're clear.
Okay.
on that.
And I'm sure I'm gonna get you to respond in a second, but also in that conversation that I had with the treasurer, I wanted her to, provide some information to the council about, the unappropriated, revenue, and what we can and cannot do with it. There's certain amounts of money that we have to maintain in reserves, per law. So some things that I would like for her to present to the council, so that we can have a better understanding of things that are going on. But I'm going to ask her to go ahead and proceed and respond. But when we have the work session in further detail, I want her to go into some really deep detail about some things that we can do. She is focusing on her experience as an auditor. And so she knows what the auditors are looking at when they conduct those examinations. And I believe that's going to end up helping the city of Selma. And I think it's going to be beneficial to the council for her to provide us with that information that she is dealing with here. Council Carter. So I know where you're coming from, but I want her to address this in detail later. But you may respond briefly, Madam Chair.
Unappropriated is a very broad term. That is your unbudgeted money. And when you say you're gonna spend something out of unappropriated, in governmental fund accounting, you have to have an account number that goes with that. There is not an account number that's associated with unappropriated. Unappropriated money is the result of when your revenues exceed your expenditures, and you have unappropriated or surplus. So you can't, unless you have an account, unless you're gonna move that money to a particular fund, a particular line item, it doesn't exist in so many ways.
Okay.
And you sort of want to hold on to that because of the simple reason, at some point in time, because as you know, your revenue is forecast and so are your expenditures. So when you fall short with your revenue that you projected, and you may overspend on your expenditures, which you over-projected, that surplus is sort of like a cushion. So you have to be careful when you start saying you want to spend that unappropriated or surplus, because you're removing your cushion just in case there's a shortfall in your revenue and there's an over expenditure in your expenses.
Yeah, I understand. I was just making sure that unappropriated was the correct term that we needed to use when voting to do that. But it sounds like we need to take unappropriated and amend the budget line item. Rather than just vote to come out of unappropriated, we should take it and amend the budget line item, increase that line item and spend it out of that budget line item. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I would do that because that removes your cushion. What I would suggest that you
Well, I'm
do.
not saying take it all out. I'm just saying that the portion that you would need to.
That would require a budget amendment.
Right.
So you will have to do a budget amendment.
And we're gonna have a more detailed discussion on specifics later. But I think everybody understands what unappropriated is and that we need to create the proper line to continue. Councilman
So, and I know we don't want to.
Thank you, but before our next work session, the treasurer and our finance chair will get together and come up with those amendments that we need to look at to make things a little better. So, and I will help if they need my help, but I believe they can help it. And so we'll have that ready for the next work session on next Thursday. Before then, if there are any issues that any of us look through the budget and we see, please refer those to Councilman Hart so that he can bring those up in those discussions. Or our treasurer, she will not bite. You can call her and she will be glad to discuss any of those issues that any of you may identify in the budget. We have identified some and we can fix them. It's not going to be that difficult. We can fix it, but we need to fix it. All right, go ahead, Councilwoman Thomas.
I'm doing new business, I want a recommendation of something, that this would help happen with, we ready for our budget. I have a recommendation that I would like to put in place. So when we do our budget the next year, that we already have it in place, so we do not have to go through what we are going through now. I recommend one.
Yes, ma'am, you have that right. All right, anything else from the treasurer to be here? Any other questions from council members that have not spoken, that they have any questions? in council. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. We look forward to getting this fixed. Ms. King. All right. Now at this time, that concludes that portion of the mayor's report. Now we have the attorney's report. And Attorney Johnson, you may present at this time. I know that several items have already been taken care of. I'm just gonna offer a little assistance. Item number 1, that's been approved on consent.
I think there may need to be a correction to that consent agenda item.
There needs to be correction to the item on the hand statement.
Yes.
Okay,
The statement as presented by me at the work session should show on February 17th that there was a $5,000 over 30-day aging amount that had already been paid. And that would have left $10,000, not $5,000 to be paid.
so let me get this straight. So there's only a remaining balance of $5,000
There's a
on that
remaining,
statement.
there's a remaining balance of $10,000.
Oh, there's a remaining balance of $10,000.
Of the 15,000, 5,000 had already been paid.
So we need to pay $10,000. What are we gonna vote for $10,000?
No, just for 5,000.
Just for
Just
$5,000.
for 5,000.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Attorney. Hear from the attorney, now knowing that we need to make a correction, is there a motion to amend the vote to a payment of $10,000 for the head statement dated February 15th, 2022? I think it was moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas and seconded by Councilwoman Lisa James to approve that amended motion, amended payment statement in the amount of $10,000. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harvey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas, Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yay.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jennison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas. Councilman Johnson.
Yeah. Thank you, and, tonight, we just need to make sure we're clear with our motions. Our, Ms. Ivy Harrison is not here with us, so just for clarity's sake, the motion that was presented was a motion to amend our previous consent vote to amend the payment in the amount of $10,000 for the payment statement dated February 15th, 2022. Just want to make sure our record is clear. So now that's been approved. Your next item, unless there's any correction, was approved on consent. For you, Carter.
The next two items were approved on consent.
Okay.
Items
So-
2 and 3, and items 4 and 5 were removed from my last report.
Okay.
So that takes us to item number 6,
Okay.
the ordinance 0105-21/22. That is the ordinance to amend sections 20-21 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code. The ordinance also states that there is a repeal in the body of the ordinance, a repeal of section 20-3. So you're actually affecting a repeal of 2 sections and a change of section 20-1. The ordinance is being presented to incorporate the resolutions that you've already passed, and I think we discussed twice now. But for the tax year of the city to correspond to the tax year of the county, that resolution was passed. And the payment of the county for the assessment and collection of taxes for the city of Selma is the second resolution that was approved. That being resolution 161-21/22, the first resolution 160-21/22.
Okay. All right. Council, this was discussed at the work session. I don't think our attorney needs to go all over this again. We've had an opportunity to ask questions. Briefly, Councilman Thomas, you got a question or comment?
No, I'm gonna, you sent out the report, attorney report?
It should have been the same document that we received on Thursday.
Yes.
All right, same.
It's the same exact document. Have there been any changes or modifications?
That's correct.
Okay. So with that said, council, we have before you, let me ask this, did we place this on first read at the last meeting? Did we?
Yes.
This was placed on first read, are we sure?
Yes, and there was even going to be a request to waive it, and the decision was not to.
Okay, I just want to make sure, so we want to do any other preliminary votes. So since it's been placed on first read, we can give it a straight up or down vote. So the chair has been advised that it's already been placed on first read.
That's correct.
So with that said, is there a motion to approve ordinance 0105-21/22 and ordinance to amend sections 20-1 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code?
So move.
Is there a second? All right, please allow the minutes to reflect.
Are you sure that's the?
That's why I asked.
I thought
We talked about it.
we talked about it Thursday.
But then we vote to place it on first read.
No,
We did the resolutions in the last meeting, and the ordinance was in the work session. So I think we need to wait.
All right, thank you, Councilman Carmichael. Unless someone can present something that it has been approved on first read,
We voted on the resolution in the last meeting.
but we did not vote on the ordinance.
Brought back to us Thursday.
So we never voted on the ordinance, we voted on resolution.
Okay, Councilman Coleman, may actually, you're right, I mentioned that we were talking, waiving the first read. I came prepared to ask you to waive the first read, but I don't think it ever got done.
Okay. So the motion, that was, made regarding adoption, of the ordinance, is hereby stricken, as it was not in order. So at this time, because, this item hasn't been placed on first read, this time the chair asks, is there a motion to suspend the rules to allow us to vote on ordinance 0105-21/22 and ordinance to amend section 20-1 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code? Is there a motion to suspend the rules? I've been called worse.
Can we get this read aloud since we're, waiving?
I'll do that.
Surely, if there's no objection.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I know this.
Okay.
Let me pick it back up. Ordinance 0105-21/22, an ordinance to amend sections 20-1 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code, whereas the Selma Municipal Code contains chapter 20 taxation and sections 20-1 tax year and sections 20-2 delinquent and escape taxes, fees to be added and collected, and whereas the City Council of the City of Selma, Alabama has approved resolution R-160-21/22 for the alignment of the tax year with that of Dallas County, Alabama, and whereas section 11-51-74 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, addresses the compensation of Dallas County, Alabama for the collection of city property taxes, and whereas the City Council of the City of Selma, Alabama has approved resolution R-161-21/22 for the payment of fees to Dallas County, Alabama for the collection of taxes on behalf of the City of Selma, Alabama. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Selma, Alabama as follows: that this ordinance is adopted to amend section 20-1 tax year to read as follows: the municipal tax year for city ad valorem taxes is declared to be from the first day of October to the end of September next succeeding. All additions will begin with tax year 2021, and ad valorem taxes will be collected at the Dallas County Courthouse and by the Dallas County Tax Collector. The City of Selma will compensate Dallas County for assessment and collection of city taxes, the fee for tax assessment of 1%, and the tax collection of 1%. adoption of ordinance providing for payment of municipal taxes on the basis of state and county assessments for preceding tax year, aligning with the state and county ad valorem tax code. Repeal section 20-2 and 20-3. That the provisions of this ordinance are severable, and any determination of the invalidity of any portion of this ordinance shall not affect the validity and enforceability for the remainder of the ordinance. That this ordinance shall become effective upon its adoption and publication as required by law, adopted by the city council, city of Selma, Alabama, this blank day of November 2022.
Thank you. After hearing the ordinance read, did we already take that motion already? No. Okay, so the chair at this time entertains a motion to suspend the rules to allow the council to vote on ordinance 0105-21/22, an ordinance to amend section 20-1 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code. Is there a second?
Second.
Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Johnson and properly seconded by Councilman Carmichael to suspend the rules to allow the council to vote on ordinance 0105-21/22. Are we ready for the question? Roll call.
President Young,
Same.
Councilman Harper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Now, at this time, council, I believe in belt and suspenders, we would like to vote unanimous consent to allow us to vote on this, as we did not previously had it up for a vote. So at this time, unless there's any objection, I'm going to ask that a member of the council move that we perform the unanimous consent roll call vote. All right, is there a second? All right, please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Harville and properly seconded by Councilwoman Christie Thomas to perform the roll call vote of unanimous consent for the vote on ordinance 0105-21/22. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council, for the public safety order for us to be able to vote for this. All council members had to say yes in the affirmative in order for us to be able to vote on this first time ordinance to the body. And every council member did vote in the affirmative with the yes. So based off of the two previous votes, the chair at this time entertains a motion to vote on ordinance 0105-21/22, an ordinance to amend sections 20-1 and 20-2 of the Selma Municipal Code. Is there a second? Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilman Carmichael and properly seconded by Councilman Harville to vote on ordinance 0105-21/22. Ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Same.
Councilman Harper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. That motion for ordinance 0105-21/22 passed. Now we move on to the next item, I believe, is the resolution related to the American Rescue Plan Act. Mr. Turner, I think those are the next two items.
Right, they are, that's good, you know. I was asked to speak with Mr. Scott, which I've done now quite 2 or 3 times, about additional information to the policy resolution of this R123-21/22. I'm sorry. 146-21/22. I'm gonna move it out of the way. Mr. Scott to address this body directly. I actually thought he was gonna be there last Thursday, and he was. I'm not sure he's home now. If he is, I'm gonna ask him to address the council with the information he provided me today earlier. We talked today earlier.
Mr. Scott, are you on electronically on Zoom? Mr. Scott? I do not see him on, since he does have the information that's pertinent. Go ahead, Councilor Carmichael.
And all we were wanting was what he sent in that last meeting that we had, the last council meeting. That was actually sent to us, and it just had, underlying items from previous document, listed singularly, instead of, additional information under them. So we did have a set policy or procedure.
So that policy that he mentions in there,
Right.
that's what he said.
Yeah, so it was attached to that. And I think because, sometimes when you're trying to find records, but if there's not something attached to that resolution or ordinance when they voted on, it may not be on the records. So we just need to make sure we have all the information.
But here's another issue, and the reason I'm asking him to speak up is because I actually received both of these resolutions now verbatim. I did not change one word, didn't change a word. Because he's the consultant for the city. He was asked for his input, he provided it.
Right.
When I asked for additional information, he did provide it, but there was some pushback on whether or not that information would be considered policy or procedure from his office. I said, well, look, we need to talk to council president and the mayor, and then come to the council with whatever the decision is. I'm in the middle of a question I can't answer.
I got you. And I respect that, thank you. And Councilor Carmichael, I truly agree with you. And not just for this resolution, but I think it's best practice that when you pass a resolution, if it mentions a document, that document needs to be attached to the resolution. If that way, when audits are performed and you're going back looking, you got everything together. And so that's just good sound business, and that shows that we are in complete compliance. So Councilor Carmichael, I like that. And not just for this resolution, but for future resolutions. And I think that also Councilwoman Thomas is credited with that, Councilwoman Christie Thomas is credited with that one. True, go ahead.
I do want to make a comment, because we've been holding it off for several weeks.
Yes,
We can always come back and amend it. So I think if we just mentioned earlier that we needed to go ahead and get it straight so we can start, with Ms. Terry, so she can, start working on the budget the way that we need it to be and amend it the way that we need it to be. So I think we need to go ahead and take care of it.
and I hear you, I like that.
Can we come back to it in this meeting and that way I'll have it pulled up and I can at least read it all.
Okay, is it okay, everybody? Because we got a bunch of items.
And then I can give it
Okay,
to.
any objection to that? All right, let's continue with the next items that do not address the American Rescue Plan. Thank you, Councilwoman Christie Thomas, for that.
Thank you. And resolutions 9 and 10 were seen to present some questions about correctness of ward numbers. So I've asked the Office of Code Enforcement to give me more feedback on that. And I'm going to ask at this time that those resolutions be tabled, not withdrawn, but tabled.
All right, so that was,
That was number 9 and 10 on my report.
okay, so we gonna table
Numbers
this.
9 and 10 on my report.
Okay? Yes, sir.
Number 11, resolution R 159.
Number 11,
159-21/22 salary increase for crossing guards. That was presented, and what I was asked to do after presentation was to provide the information about how that would impact the budget. And the treasurer was very prompt in providing a breakdown that I submitted to you, I believe, already on current hourly pay, current annual pay, the approved, if you were to approve a new hourly rate, what that rate would be, a new current annual pay based on that new hourly rate, and the budget, I believe she said for December, that budget increase or decrease, you had a decrease in parentheses, that accounting jargon threw me for a second. Budget increase or decrease, it's a budget increase of $1,820 down the line for those 9 positions.
this budget increase of 1,800
$1,820 per person.
per person. And how many people we talking about?
9 people, total of $20,020 for the year.
20,000,
$20,020.
okay.
20,020, period.
Annual effect would be $20,000. All right, council, any questions about what's been presented, to, the council?
And Mr. President, too, that was based on a notation at the bottom, based on 1,040 hours worked per year.
1,048 hours.
1040
1040.
hours worked per year.
Oh, that's equal.
That's per person. Yeah, that's per person. Okay. All right, questions, go ahead, Councilman.
Chairperson on the budget. Chairperson of finance, let me ask you this question. We are in the, we're saying, like, things are going to budget amendment. So with this increased salary, for this, crossing guard, would we have to go into budget to adjust that for that salary for them to have their increase? Since we are saying that, things that we have to look at in this budget for us to amend?
Yeah, we have to budget. I mean, I would be in favor of is to address salaries whole. And to maybe a spreadsheet we filled out to tackle this. I would be glad to, fully agree 100% they need more money. That's not my, like to all the salary. We need to talk about it.
And this is why I asked you this, if we are doing this, based on what the treasurer said, our budget is not where we can be, we will have to come back to amend in the budget that we don't have, which, I understand the treasurer is, just laid out the amount that, where we have to, that's gonna be paid for the salary. So I'm trying to figure out, are we operating off of, certain things we have to amend and certain things we are going to do. So I want to, since you're the chairperson of the finance committee, I want us to be fair for everyone and, so we can do anything right. I want to make sure that I want to hear the truth. Before I
Hopefully they'll turn that sheet back to us.
Sure.
I'm just thinking, you know,
the cross guard is making $7.25. And so everybody else in the whole city, $79, everybody. They're cross guard. So why not go with the cross guard at $9 instead of talking about waiting on the other salaries? Those people already making more than $9 an hour. So that's not hinder the people from making, $2 and some cent an hour more, what they preachers making. It don't make no sense. I understand we can look at the whole picture of everybody's salary, but what the mayor is trying to do, make everybody at $9. So why not? $9.
Can I ask you a question? Will that make everybody that works for the city, no one else is making $7 an hour? Will that bring every employee, you know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good
Will that bring, cause you know, I don't like nitpicking and giving somebody that. So if everybody that work for this city,
Just break them up.
if they make it $7 an hour, bring all of them up tonight. It's not that, it's
I'm
just
looking
be
at
fair.
hourly rates, right?
They're the only ones that are below that, because they're part, they're only part-time.
It is,
But there may be part-time and recreation.
Everybody has.
somebody in the fire department. $7.90.
That's money.
Yeah.
Bring everybody right now.
Well, I see what Councilman Randolph, I'm following. Let's go ahead and do something now. I hear what you're saying. And then I heard Councilman James Thomas say, not just these individuals that are making $7.25, but let's bring every employee in the city that's making below $9 to that mark. And I'm agreeing with that because for too long, we treat people differently, but we are still all people. So we should all be treated fair and proper. So I agree with Councilwoman Thomas about bringing everybody up. But before I make a vote to do that, I want to do that, and I believe just by feeling from you all, y'all want to do that. I want to know what I'm doing before I vote. And so I would like for the treasurer and our chair to let us know, and because we might miss about it tonight, because I know we're being fast. And when you act too fast, that's when you mess up. That's what my dad used to say. So we need to look through everybody that's working for the city and all these different departments and make sure that we don't miss it about it. Because if we miss somebody, you're gonna hear. So we need to go back and look over every department to see who's getting paid below the 9. Get with the treasurer and the finance chair and see how that impacts our budget. And then we make an informed decision instead of just making things off the cuff. Instead of making decisions right then and there, you have to have the information to make the decision. I think we need the information, but I want to do it, and I think everybody else wants to do it. Because I'm feeling it. I think everybody else wants to, we want to do it right. So, Mr. Chair and Madam Treasurer, I know you have a plethora of things to do already, but we thank you and we hope that you and the chair can also get on that. Councilwoman, Christian Thomas.
Is there not a question that our personnel director can answer?
I don't know if she's with us or not. And I don't think she's with us, but she probably could respond to that as well, but we may need to talk to her as well too on this. So let's put this, Madam Council Secretary, place this as an agenda item for work session Thursday night, next Thursday. Place this as an agenda item.
And as a suggestion to council, also only do classification rates for these parts of the city to keep the people out.
That's where you mess up.
And then classification on.
And that's why we don't need to take a vote right now tonight, because we need to consider that too. Thank you for that. Thank you from everybody. Let's put that on work session, Madam Treasurer and Mr. Chair. Yes, sir.
President, I think I heard the chairman of finance mention that, we trying to maybe give a raise across the board, or we're waiting on a specific sheet to come in. Because I'm getting some calls also on where some administrative systems, you still getting $10 an hour, when there's some, they get $12 an hour. And they come bad, they've been here for many years, and others. So I think that's something we definitely look in, but my question is, we need to kind of push that sheet in somewhere to move forward with it, because it definitely is not fair for some.
Correct. Let's, I hear you, Mr. Johnson, but let's work on this below line first. Let's knock this out. We can get this done on Thursday, and then vote on the next Tuesday. All right, thank you. So we put that on the agenda, the work on.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Can- Is an hourly employee or hourly employees, is that considered a classification? Anybody know that question?
Under the Fair Labor Standards Act, you have hourly paid, administrative, and professional service, professional employees.
They may be classified separately or paid.
Yeah, what I'm asking is, can we address hourly employees as a class of employment? And just bring the minimum pay up to $9. As long as we identify, we want to know exactly which ones are under $9. And then if it's a handful, if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pretty easy just to bring that up to $9, but I want to make sure we don't get in trouble. I want to make sure we address it as not just those 9 or 10 employees, but all hourly. employees. I will make a minimum of $9 an hour.
I think setting a minimum wage for your.
Yeah, I think let's go to the people that do this.
Okay.
Let's talk to the personnel director. And then we will know what we do. All right, and I think I like the sentiment we're going in. So we'll address that to the personnel director as well.
Next item.
Yes, sir, please.
Next item is for 12 and 13, which already been approved. I was asked to provide additional resolutions to the council. I think there were resolutions number 3, total 3 rather. One was the resolution to adopt and use an official city of Selma seal, the other was the shop law resolution. Third was the renaming of Union Street, changing the resolution from a renaming of Union Street to a renaming a portion of Union Street in the city of Selma. The first resolution was R 142-21/22, a resolution to adopt and use the official city of Selma seal. That resolution is fairly good, and I think Councilman Carter provided a couple of graphic depictions of the city seal. What it says is the city of has to appear in the seal itself, and the word city seal will be in the center of the official seal. That's not the case currently, is what Councilman Carter's point was. The seal was changed, but it wasn't changed to include the statutory language 1140-1. So his recommendation is in all respects valid.
And Councilman Carmichael, I know you've been working on this for a while. Did you all discuss this at work session as well on Thursday?
We actually discussed it at the administrative committee meeting, and then Councilman Christie Thomas brought it to the work.
Okay. And so Councilman Christie Thomas, do you have any comments about the resolution that's been presented to us?
I think we need to go ahead and adopt it, move forward. Because like you said, we've been waiting for this particular resolution for a while.
I think since we got on the council, we can talk about it. So this is resolution R 142-21/22. So ladies and gentlemen, whenever you are voting on something that's going to be of a permanent nature, and it hasn't been placed on first read as a previous week, you need to, vote to suspend the rules in order to vote. We have not, placed this resolution on first read before, so we need to, the chair at this time entertains a motion to suspend the rules to allow the council to vote on resolution R 142-21/22, resolution to adopt and use the official city of Selma seal. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All right, please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas and properly seconded by Councilman Troy Harvey to suspend the rules to allow the council to vote on resolution R 142-21/22. Are we ready for a question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harville,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph. Councilman Jennison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Very good. Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was a unanimous vote to suspend the rules to allow council to vote on resolution R 142-21/22. Now, council, since this is not involving finances, we don't have to do the other, unanimous consent vote. Now we can take the vote straight up or down. So at this time, the chair entertains a motion to approve resolution R 142-21/22, resolution to adopt and use the official city of Selma seal. Is there a motion? It was moved by Councilwoman Lisa James. Is there a second? All right, and properly seconded by Councilman Carmichael to approve resolution R 142-21/22, resolution to adopt and use the official city of Selma seal. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young.
Yes.
Councilman Harville.
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jennison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you very much, council, for your votes. And so now at this time, attorney, your next item, please.
The next item is resolution 168-21/22. Place shop hall and record service to call location for record service in the city of Selma, Alabama. There were representatives who appeared before the council asking that that be done. This very thing be done, and the resolution is presented in accordance with the information presented to you, as well as my discussion with Chief Fulford. He said that the resolution should recognize the fact that after you pass the resolution, there still is one more step needed. The city, I guess, police department, the city police department would have to verify that the equipment being used by shop is sufficient and in good order and repair. I think that would have a lot to do with liability and insurance, as well as whether or not they would be effective if you place the rotation, and able to pull off the work there.
All right, council, we have before us, resolution R 168-21/22 to place shop boys record service in call rotation, for record service with the city of Selma, placing them on rotation, to my assumption, would be an act of permanence, unless someone would move later to take them off. So with that, the chair is going to request that a motion be made to suspend the rules to allow us to vote on resolution R 168-21/22. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, wait, everybody. I think it was Councilwoman Lisa James seconded. It was moved by Councilman Johnson, properly seconded by Councilwoman Lisa James, suspend the rules to allow us to vote on resolution R168-21/22 to place shop boys record service in call rotation for record service with the city of Selma. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James, Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jennison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Very good. Now the chair will entertain a vote to approve resolution R168-21/22 to place shop boys record service in call rotation for record service with the city of Selma. Is there a second? Please allow the minutes to reflect that it was moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas and properly seconded by Councilman Troy Harville to approve resolution R168-21/22. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harper, Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James, Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jennison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
I believe everybody liked making that vote, so let's give a round of applause to shop boys. Congratulations. Thank you all. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Attorney, your next, item.
Item, resolution 171. Resolution 171-21/22 to change the renaming of Union Street to quote, renaming a portion of Union Street within the city of Selma, to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street. The resolution in all respects says exactly what you've already done, with the exception that it points out that the specific portion of Union Street is from JL Chestnut Street to Fourth Avenue within the city of Selma, Alabama. And is hereby changed to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street.
Okay. All right, council, this resolution came about from the vote that we took in the special call meeting. It is a point of clarification for that vote because we are amending that vote to include specific portions of Union Street, which we approved the name change for. So that's why this vote is before us, because it was just as the resolution reads for that portion of Union Street from JL Chestnut Street to Fourth Avenue. So we're just clarifying and making sure that the resolution, that the motion passed was accurate. So we're doing two things. First, we're asking that the motion adopted in the special call meeting be amended to include partial. And we are voting to approve resolution R171-21/22 to change the renaming of Union Street to rename a portion of Union Street within the city of Selma to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street. So what I would like to do is I'm trying to get this done correctly. So since this is of a permanent nature and we have not voted on this resolution, the first vote I'm going to request is a vote to suspend the rules to allow us to vote on resolution R171-21/22 to change the renaming of Union Street to renaming a portion of Union Street in the city of Selma to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Second.
All right, we moved and properly second, it was moved by Councilman Johnson, properly seconded by Councilman Harvey to approve the council.
Pretty much wrong.
Who did first? Okay, so I got y'all back, I mixed y'all up. All right, so it was moved by Councilman Harvey and probably thank you, Councilman Jackson. And it was probably seconded by Councilman Michael Johnson to approve suspending the rules to vote on resolution R171-21/22. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harper,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jennison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, council, for your votes. Now, on this second vote, we are voting to amend the previous motion that was passed in a special call meeting to include resolution R 171-21/22 to change the renaming of Union Street to renaming a portion of Union Street within the city of Selma to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street, and specifically indicating that the renaming of Union Street as requested for that third portion from J.L. Chestnut Street to Fourth Avenue within the city of Selma, Alabama, be and is hereby changed to Dr. Bernard Lafayette Junior Street. Is there a motion to approve the motion as read by the chair?
So moved.
That was close. I believe it was Councilman Johnson that made the motion. Who's the second? Is there a second? All right, thank you, Councilman Randolph. It was moved by Councilman Johnson, properly seconded by Councilman Randolph, to approve the motion as provided and stated by the chair regarding resolution R 171-21/22. And also to amend the previous vote as provided in the special call meeting. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young.
Yes.
Councilman Harville.
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jennison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas. Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you, council, for your votes. We hope that that clears up this issue. If not, everyone up here is a human and we can err, and we'll fix that if we have to. But hopefully that clears that up. All right, Mr. Attorney, are those all of your items, sir?
They are, there were two of them on the list of five that I begged off of providing to the council because it wasn't a lack of notes. I had notes on both, but have a definite need, especially on the ordinance, because of everything I'm seeing. I think there was something like 5 or 6 attachments sent, I believe, from Council Carmichael, 1 or 2 of which only apply to the ordinance.
Yes,
So I want more time to look at that. We've also pulled our current ordinance, and what I'm doing is comparing the two completely to give a presentation to the council.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. All right, now we'll move on to the next item on our agenda. Yes, yes.
There was a, comment at work session to go into executive session. I'm not sure if we still need to do that.
There was,
Is there a need to go to executive session?
according to one of the members of the council, yes.
There is, okay. All right,
We say that the crossing guards were working 1,000.
Not a week.
not we, and
Annually.
They're making $9,300. Full work is 2,080 hours. They're working 1,040 hours, and they're making $9,400. They're already making $9,000.
we'll check, just to be sure. What do we need to do? Make sure that they are being paid. I got you.
Mr. President, while we're sitting there waiting, what else are items that Councilman Quake Carmichael want to bring back up, so we need to talk about?
You got an item, Councilman?
I believe you're referring to, Marlo.
Oh, thank you, Councilman Johnson. Yes, the American Rescue Plan Fund.
What we've got here, what we've got is, we saw that the policy written out on big screen. We never got it. At that meeting, the last meeting, it was put on the big screen while we were.
And we haven't received
We never received that exact document, that resolution referring to. He printed out the email, and it showed the attachments that were in that email, but not.
So all we need to do is get this information.
Yeah, we have to see that policy and make sure that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Council Secretary, can someone note to her to,
I've been talking.
okay, she can send an email to CC, yours truly, making the request, for those documents, that were presented on the large screen. Make sure every councilman has that. Every councilman should see something before they vote. That's just right. Go ahead, Councilwoman Thomas.
I just want to hear, make this correct, that I hear what you said, Mr. Harvey, is that correct, you saying they already making that now? How can they be making that now when they have seven?
Budgeted, the approved budget, I'm looking at the right line, is they're making 9360,
They make it 93.
9360 a year, it says they're part-time salary. The 9360 is $1,009.
Okay, so where is the confusion coming in? Then they make seven, they make minimum wage.
So let's not create more confusion and look and find out for sure. So we won't create more confusion. Great.
I was trying to confirm that.
Okay. Thank you. But if they are not in line, Councilman, we can give them. All right, now, with that said, executive session, Councilwoman Thomas, you're requesting this on what, is this?
Regarding the contract that we had, I think it's fair that it's they.
So it's good name, character.
Yeah.
Okay, so under, Code of Alabama, 36-25A-7. So council, under said, statute, how long do you need, how long is
There's
this?
only one decision of this legislative body.
Okay, so for a period of no longer than 20 minutes.
You don't need 20 minutes.
Okay, so council, is there a motion to go into executive session under Code of Alabama 36-25-7, for a period of no longer than 20 minutes?
You don't need 20 minutes.
All right, third, Councilwoman Christie Thomas, who's the second? Councilman Harvey. Please allow the record to reflect that this moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas, proper second by Councilman Harvey. For executive session for a period of 20 minutes, pursuant to 36-25-7 Code of Alabama 1975. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harvey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James, Councilman Randolph, Councilman Jennison,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are in executive session for no longer than 20 minutes. Hopefully we'll return before the, thank you so much. Mr. Attorney Madison, I think we're gonna need you to, I'm gonna keep it. Rest of our council members, please return to your seats so we may proceed with our meeting. Okay, we do have a requisite number of individuals to continue business. At this time, is there a motion to go back to regular session? If there's, then please allow the minutes to reflect. It was moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas, properly seconded by Councilman Harville for the council to go back to regular session. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harville,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas. Councilman Carmichael.
Yes.
Councilwoman James. Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jennison.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas. Councilman
Yes.
Johnson.
You got a call.
Thank you so much for that. Now, council, is there a motion regarding any business that needs to be taken care of regarding our executive session? Are there any motions?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to take this and we'll get opinion from the. Yeah, yes.
All right, Is there a second?
As it relates to the contract.
Oh,
Okay, let's get the motion clear. Okay, what you said, Councilwoman Jane
I would
Thomas?
like it to be with both. The contractor and the attorney.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure we,
Both.
what we're taking to,
The contractor and the attorney.
Maybe the contract that we voted on in the documentation, exactly, come from the attorney.
Well, the council person made the appropriate motion, I want to make sure we get the correct motion on the record.
Councilwoman Thomas, do it.
I'm the one making the motion.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I just made a motion, so I'm taking my motion off the table and giving it to you.
Yeah, 1 second yet, so we can do this. Go ahead.
Okay, in order for us to get from the lead, let's compare who's in wrong with, from the contractor that we did. The contract that we contract out and also the attorney, contract that he sent to us, what, the talk about.
Okay, is there a second for the motion made by Councilwoman Thomas?
Second.
Okay, are we ready for, well,
President Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Clarification, includes the, contract and the documentation that our attorney emailed to everyone, to send to the league.
the motion as stated by Councilwoman Jane Thomas is the motion that is before the body to vote on. So are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Come back to me.
Councilman Harvey,
yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Jane?
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jennison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
And I abstain from the vote. All right, can you read back the results of the vote, please?
We have 7 affirmative votes and 2 abstentions.
Motion passed. Thank you so much. All right, next item.
Mr. Troy just didn't vote my name when I said something.
No, we are at an official meeting right now, and so, I know he is, but we're in meeting, and I appreciate it, and know where you're coming from. We're conducting business, so thank you. You can't get on the agenda, during the citizens' concern, at the next work session, but thank you. If I do a few, I got to do it. Do it right. Now, the next item on our agenda, I think we ought to do unfinished business, is that correct? I am not doing Oh, thank you. That's not. Committees, are there any committees that would like to report at this time? Any committees that would like to report?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
So. Sent a memo. Got that memo back in the email. Not a clear definition, in my opinion, on a lot of that. I have I guess that's what we follow. I don't know if we couldn't get what we requested. And unfortunately, we don't have time to debate this tonight. We don't need to do it at a council meeting. Thursday night, but I didn't get the memo. So what we're gonna have to do is take a vote to extend the effective date of the garbage order. So that we can get all this hashed out, because there are some issues in here that I believe need to be addressed. And even if we don't change it completely, it, you know, we need to discuss it. We need to discuss it openly. We need to make sure that those affected by it understand what's going on. So, okay, if there aren't any questions concerning that memo or any discussion concerning the memo, I'd like to make a motion to back the effective date of the ordinance by 30 additional days.
Is there a second? All right, please allow me to place it was moved by Councilman Carmichael and properly seconded by Councilman Harville to extend the effective date of the garbage ordinance for a period of 30 days. Are we ready for the question?
Mr. Chairman, a point of privilege.
Yes, sir.
Before you vote, I would like for you to see an email message from the vendor that I believe was received today, either today or yesterday, from LDI.
Okay. Well, the thing about my understanding is this just a vote to push it back, doesn't kill it. It just gives us more time.
I understand, but I wanted you to see the communication first, as a matter of fact.
Right. But if we see the communication, we'll just be seeing it right now.
Yes.
So we would like time to.
I understand.
So it's in order. A motion is on the floor. Are we ready for the question? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Harville,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jennings.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Jemison,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
And Mr. Attorney, we just wanted time to
I-
even review this email, not just act on the spot.
I
So this gives
understand.
us the time.
May I make a comment?
Council Carmichael, then Councilman Thompson will move on.
If there's something that is dire, Attorney Madison, just let us know. We can call a special call meeting and get something done if there's a dire situation.
And the first thing I'll do is send this to you first thing in the morning, all of you,
Next,
and we'll go from there.
Councilwoman Thomas.
Can I ask him something? I'm gonna tell you why I put this on the floor.
Mr. President, while they're doing that, if possible, if we can, do what needs to be done within 30 days, we can come back and move this.
If we, somebody can bring forth the motion, and if everything's good,
Right.
somebody can bring it
And
that.
we can bring it forward,
Reduce
30 days, yes.
Somebody, as long as it gets a majority vote.
Right.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to, put a motion on the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to, even though we took the ordinance, take it back till we get it corrected,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask one question to Mr. Curry. I would like to ask, if I put this motion on the floor, could we continue to, with the, previous, what they've been doing, what they did before paying that, delinquent, garbage fee? The city had already started doing that.
I don't know, did you all discuss this at the work session? Did y'all discuss this in the work session?
No, I'm not saying discuss it, I don't want to discuss it.
Mhm.
I want, what I'm saying is, the city is already been doing that, paying the delinquent.
You asked a question. and you-
No, I'm,
I think she's saying the city is paying the delinquent fee based on resolution passed.
We did.
She's saying if we continue doing that, he's hoping that backing this up doesn't stop that. So that we
Like,
can
what I'm
continue paying
saying.
those, for LDI.
Right, we go let resolution pass, those delinquent. Is there any way here that can answer that question?
I don't
Because
think,
I can't.
I don't think that extending I don't think that's extending the effective date annuls your resolution, nor the ordinance.
All right,
So-
Mr. Tax Collector, you in agreement?
Yes, I concur with the attorney. We will continue to do it. And also in the contract, it does specify that we will continue to pay it. And the collection portion will happen downstairs in the tax and license hall.
Excellent. All right,
and that's what, that was I was saying, based on the cost of the ordinance, it has to be done right. And then it has to be run again if we have to, it has to be run back in the paper, if we change things in the paper. It has to be run again. And so this is why I'm saying, in the process of our resolution, continue.
If there is a significant change to the ordinance, we need to let them, that's correct.
Material change, which is significant.
Right.
Okay, so but like Councilman Johnson, I'm meeting with him, if we find out what we need to find out, we can move forward with an earlier date upon vote of the council.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're gonna get the information. This is just a bill of suspension, just in case everything is clear. Okay? I think I got it. So now, any other committee report? The administrative committee led by Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Okay. The administrative committee met on March 3rd at 4:30 p.m. And item of discussion were personnel board appointments, power ordinance, citizens request follow-up, and a few other matters. For the personnel board appointment, the recommendation from the committee, is to allow people to submit resumes to the committee. And those people that are applying for that particular position will have to speak before the committee, and explain why they should be chosen for that, position. And then the committee will take, the recommendation, back to the council. And we also discussed, since this is a pay board, who asked our personnel director to post these positions, on the city website. So I would like to make a motion to ask the, personnel director, Mrs. Rutledge, to post these positions on our city website for 30 days.
All right, what did, when you post, what first day?
Starting immediately.
Immediately, okay. Motion before the council is, the recommendation coming from the administrative committee to post the positions of Selma Personnel Board for a period of 30 days to begin immediately. And this request is to be made to the personnel director, Mrs. Rutledge, for said position. All right, is there, it was second, it was moved by Councilwoman Christie Thomas, and proper seconded by Councilman Carter. Are we ready for the question? All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Young,
Yes.
Councilman Carver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Christie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Carmichael,
Yes.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jamie Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. May continue with your report.
We also discussed, for any other appointments that the council has, we would take these same steps and allow them to come and speak with the, administrative committee and, bring a resume and also, speak to the board about why they should be chosen for that particular position. So ongoing, I guess we need to work on a resolution to get that to this place, okay?
If we could do an appointments resolution.
Yes.
So we're gonna, the administrative committee is asking, the attorney to draft an appointments resolution.
On the power ordinance, there was some further discussion and, research that the attorney, needs to do, so that is still tabled for right now. Do you have anything on that, attorney?
You say which,
The power ordinance,
tower?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I did explain that a few minutes ago.
so he did explain that in his report earlier. That was one of the ones that he sent to us, he's an explanation on why he didn't have that. For the citizens request follow up, let me see if I can remember. Okay. I see it right. One moment. Okay, I got it right here. Once the citizens make the request, to the council, it will go to the recommending committee, to resolve that issue. Then the administrative assistant, we will send that to the administrative assistant, including all personal information like telephone number, name, address, email address. And then the administrative assistant will, forward this to the mayor's office to get this whatever issue it is handled. And then once that is handled to the mayor's office and the department head, they will bring that back to the council that is resolved. So,
By the next week.
yeah, by the following meeting, council meeting.
Okay, since, that's a very detailed process, I think that that would also be best, done in the form of a resolution. And it could be, entitled, resolution, for citizens request process.
And Mr. President, if I may, what I've asked for in the past, and I'm asking for again, is to just please reduce what you just asked me to writing. I've made notes and think I got almost everything, but I can't swear to you that I got it all. So if you just please follow that request up with whatever you got written down.
Yes,
Whatever you just read from.
Ms. Ellison to do that. We'll ask-
That's fine, that's fine.
Ms. Ellison, did you hear that? Did you hear the attorney? Okay.
I asked for it in writing. I asked for the list in writing.
So all of those things that we were asking him to do, could you email that to him, please? Thank you. Were there any other, things that we discussed in committee? If you all can recall? Kathy? That was it, thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee? All right, hearing no other committee?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Couple days. Miss, we're still waiting on the devil. Have they said a date anywhere for us to go on the property? Or for the deal?
They have to respond to the email.
They have, okay. You haven't got anything yet? Mr. President, since we ain't getting nothing, I'm gonna put a motion on the floor for the next council meeting. That we, by that time, you say you be on the budget. By that time.
Well,
By that time, you say you will be on the budget, y'all say y'all gonna go on the budget. So we can get, if we don't have a budget, can we just go ahead and try to amend it? Need what we need to do so we can move on.
for the properties, for funding the repairs on the public buildings.
I would like to, including all, anything that we need to amend to make sure.
Oh, yeah, what I'm gonna do in the, just for clarification, one of the things I'm gonna do is the report, February report that we received that showed that it was just the expense report that showed over on the right things that were over budget or didn't have a budget. Go through that list. I'm probably not gonna work session, probably finance committee.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take the time to go through every one of those items and we're gonna.
And we need to get an update on the elevator, because this is the month that the elevator was supposed to be replaced, start the process.
Yeah.
And by no department heads here, and no one here at the council meeting, we don't know where we at with the property right now, where we are in the elevator, it's updated, it's over March, so if anything that changed, we need to know.
When's our next council meeting?
For Tuesday.
2 weeks from today.
No, this
What'd you
is.
say?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay. Ms. Jean, why don't we say, we do have several I won't say most of them, but at least half of them, we do have an estimate on what it's going to take to repair those pumps. We don't have any additional information, questions about that time. I don't, the three of us, Councilman Jennison, just go in and say, okay, do we want to push forward with at least the ones that we have an estimate on? We can go ahead and decide, let's bring it up for a vote. Let's get these taken while we're waiting on the votes. If you do that, just get those out.
Yeah, because we have been asking and you have been requesting and sending, and, we at the point, we way over what's that, handicap, with the handicap with the elevator.
Yeah.
We way over that, and we keep asking, they told us they were to start this in March, and, we need to know if there's something that changed in there, or whatever we need to know.
All right, thank you. Any other committees? All right, moving on to new, finished business. Any items? Yes, sir.
My, it's not pertaining to, but say, I am, well, I'm kind of disturbed on the things that happened this weekend. Yes, we had a very good Jubilee and everything went well, but I'm disturbed on getting the information for the council. We did not know any direction. On Sunday, things were out of hand. And this is our city. And the councils did not have any choice on doing anything. And I am not the type of person to sit back and just let people walk all over our city. And we was walked over this weekend. And I want everybody to know that I am in the process of drafting a letter to the vice president, the Terry Sewell's office, the Jubilee Committee, and who else was in charge. Because I felt like we were disrespected. I felt like the mayor and his wife was looked over. People had privileges that the mayor didn't have. I don't think that was right for the city of Selma. And I am gonna go forward. We had people from New York come in that got a flight back early because I think this was happening. And I was very disturbed because I was sitting by this lady and she was talking about Selma so bad. So I had to correct her on some things. I had my brother to take her to the airport in Montgomery because there was no transportation for her anywhere in Selma. People came before the council to ask for things to be waived and things to be done. We had a special call meeting for that to happen. Nobody knew anything about the parade. I just took it upon myself and got in the parade. We had no information on time. We got an email Friday night on what we need to do. If we had the vice president coming into our city, I don't care whether it was 2 or 3 days before the event, we should have information in time. We are Selma dignitaries. We are elected officials. And I felt like we was not treated fairly. And I think we need a formal apology. I don't know who it's gonna come from. And I think the ball was dropped, giving it to the council. It really hurts to know that Selma was treated the way Selma was treated.
Councilwoman, you wasn't, only one. I think the commission feel the same way as well. You're right. Because we heard from our judge, Non, some of the provisions that we will, and they would split it the same way. I agree with you.
Council Carmine?
We've got the, what, 60th coming up?
Yeah.
That should be okay.
Very good.
Hopefully we can all, we are done that.
If not,
You know, make sure we lock on over that.
it's gonna have to be because, I'm not about saying divorce. It doesn't matter to me. But you're gonna respect me for my position. And I mean that. So whoever gotta hear from us, they're gonna hear from us.
All right. Go ahead, Bernard.
I had want to talk about,
Yeah.
if the council, city got money, into the banks and sell them, those banks should try to work with us on different issues that's coming up. If not, we need to think about, moving our money to other banks. I'm not, I'm not. It just bothers me that if you go to a bank and you try to get them to help you do something, they said, no, we got $2 million in their bank. That is dubious. So maybe we can get with the treasurer, she can let us know what bank we got money in. You know,
The church has your hand up.
okay. All for anything that allows us anything, we need to transfer our money out there. I'm for real now.
Is it on the board?
I know what you're saying. I will say, if we request, if something requests something that the city attorney says, I'm telling you, we do not need to do this for liability reasons, and you go and do it anyway, it's all happens. You need to get sizzled like a pig. I understand the frustration, but at the same time, we gotta respect these corporations. I mean, their legal teams are telling us you got some great liability. You let anybody on the roof of this building outside the Secret Service, you're gonna have issues. We got to respect them for saying, our council is just telling us we don't need to be doing this. We don't need to be going yanking money out of the bank.
Well, that's you. You got the right to teach one person up there. You got the right to disagree with me. But I'm talking about if we go to a bank and we try to get assistance on something, they tell us no, we got $2 million. It's crazy not to want to take your money like this. I'll tell you, that's how it works. If I go to Wells Fargo, they tell me I can't get a loan. I guarantee you, I'll take you that car.
Okay, all right, Councilman Carmichael.
Can we get some details on this, on exactly what happened?
Yeah.
I'd just like to know what's going on, and not, if there's something that's out of the ordinary, we can create a policy, a resolution or something. But we have those details.
I'll let you know.
More information. More information. Okay.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir, Councilman.
I'll be real quick. My thing is about the loan counseling. And I applaud you. I promise you've been trying to get us out of this. You really have. I applaud you for that. But let's keep in mind, just in case the mayor report was here, it's still be 9 o'clock after 9 o'clock. Got it. All I'm asking is seeking we adjust the agenda just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Even me taking off the committee report, new unfinished business, we need to do something. Because I follow you really were pushing this tonight. But anyway, we need to think about it, see what we can do. Because the 8:35 the mayor report was probably 9 o'clock, we gotta get. But all I'm asking these council members to think about what we can do to amend our agenda.
To be efficient with our time.
There you go.
I got you. Time is of this. Go ahead, Councilman Carmichael, Councilwoman Thomas.
Suggestion that they go to administrator.
Okay, you can go with Administrator Committee. No objection. Go ahead, Councilman. Yes, ma'am.
Well, my business is that I want to have the attorney to draw up I want a resolution draw up before I take, but here, the steps in
The budget
process, yeah, the budget process in our year. We past practice doing the same thing we did before, amending it. So I would like to put the budget process from the beginning when we're supposed to start to the end.
Can we take it back there and ask the attorney to draw a resolution outlining the budget process so that we can avoid the confusion that we had earlier? We're just trying to avoid confusion.
I agree.
And so this,
If we put
putting
the
it
budget in
right,
place, if we put it in place, the process of a budget supposed to be passed.
yes, ma'am.
According to the legislature, then we wouldn't have to be figuring out if we can get money.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
we can fix that.
I applaud the recommendation.
Mr. President, real quick, if we allow the mayor to go ahead and do his budget first and then go ahead on and give it to us like it's normally supposed to be and let us chop it out like we're supposed to.
Put it in process. I mean, whatever, right now, we're just talking. We gotta put it right. So whatever he drafts, we'll have a chance to talk about it. But,
We have a process.
we'll provide him with that process
That's what I'm saying.
for the draft.
For the resolution.
For the draft, and we'll come back to work session and hammer it out.
And again, you're on the right track. I applaud Councilman Johnson for applauding you. I would just like anything you asking me for to be added to that list in writing.
Go get it.
Anything, everything.
We're gonna get it done. Any other? Yes, go ahead, come on.
All right, we voted on a contract for the Selma Redevelopment Authority, and apparently these funds are not.
For what?
Selma Redevelopment.
That's all right.
That's all right. And the funds are not in the line items that we put them in. Not in the budget.
If I remember, if I look correctly, those funds were.
He give it a John. Wait on.
If I remember correctly, those funds were in the proposed ARP budget. And at that point in time, from my notes.
Aha.
Did we move that? I thought we moved the.
For those of the ARP funds, that's all right.
I thought we moved the mini grant, we put it up to the mini grants to our budget, but SRA.
We did.
Okay.
We
He's
did.
checking. That's
But
very
if it's not documented, then.
And as I stated earlier, once we get the ARP plus situation straight, that's gonna help with a lot of the funding. Once we approve that 1.6 billion to make it unrestricted, then a lot of the things, including the public buildings and all the other stuff, will be funded then through the ARP. So it's imperative that we go ahead and get that. Go ahead.
Can I recommend that I trade any resolution or anything that we do with funding, that the treasurer gets that, because she needs to be on top of that. When we vote on any money or anything, the clerk needs to make sure that this treasurer, that she gets it.
Okay, so my understanding, I see you, Mr. He doesn't see it on there, Councilman Carver. So that too needs to be discussed under the budget amendments to get that corrected this way. Like I said, we've identified some issues, so we don't need to spend all night, we know issues exist, we got to get it done. Councilman Carmichael.
I just want to make a request that when something like that happens, that it comes back to us in the form of your report. That there's an issue that has arisen, and so that we can be aware of it. Because we get calls about it and we know nothing about it, but if you'll make us aware of it, then we can kind of discuss it a little bit.
As long as I'm aware of it, I will, I will try to do my research to find it. And what I do is, in the past, since I've been here, I've got the minutes from the clerk's office.
Okay. Yeah, if there's something we vote on contract or whatever, and there's somehow funding missing from that line, please bring it to us at that next meeting. We can talk it.
All right, our communication will approve. Any other new business? No. There being no further business of the Celtic Council, thank you for attending this meeting. Thank you. I'm trying to look, I'm not excited to take my hour back. Thursday. I got some right now. Mr. Who now? I'm gonna look at first. Ms. Elder, I gave Councilwoman James. You know what? Hey.